What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be continuing the backtesting session on EURUSD, going from the beginning of 2023 all the way up until the end of 2023. So we have collected around a year's worth of data on the system, which I currently use, and I'm going to be revealing in full detail inside this video. So let's not waste any more time. Let's head right over to the charts and let's get straight into the video. Okay, guys, so continuing on from where we left off last time, we got to around the middle of September, so I think we may be able to finish this backtesting session today. Within the next hour, we've only got around 2.5 months left to do. So if we get right into it, and let's zoom all the way back out to the higher time frames. Okay, so what I'm sort of seeing here and what I'm looking for is, I think last time we had basically saw that price swept this weekly supply zone and then was pushing down, heading towards the opposing liquidity. In particular, we had this weekly low that price is about to take, or looks like it's about to take, and then we also have this more discounted one down here. So these are the sort of two targets that I would be kind of cautious of. So if price does take out these previous lows, then we could maybe see price start to reverse and continue back up to the upside. At least like on a short-term time frame, we may see a retracement and then continuations, or we may see a sweep for price to head back towards the trend high. But yeah, these are like the targets that I would currently be looking for if I was looking to short the market down. As you guys can see, we haven't quite swept that first one just yet, but I am going to mark it on with a line just so we know when it is taken out. And then obviously we have this one down here as well. Clear target for us. Cool. But as of right now, you can see we still have this clear bearish momentum coming in. On all of the other time frames, price is very much still bearish as well. So if you can see here, on the 4 hour, this was the current breaker structure. Right, so essentially just looking to follow this bearish trend down, but kind of being a little bit more cautious now that we have swept this higher time frame low to the left. We may see some buys start to step back into the market. So yeah, let's see how price reacts here, because if we do see a valid sort of lower time frame change of character, I would consider buying from here based on that higher time frame idea which I just went through. So I'm going to fast forward Asia and see what London session does. Okay, so currently price is pushing up, but as of right now, I wouldn't be looking to buy here just because we haven't really had a clear breaker structure. Actually, yeah, we kind of did. We had this 15-minute change of character right here, and price left behind an area of demand. So this would be it would be a lower probability counter trend position, but I'm happy to take this because we are already up a decent buffer on the account. So I'm going to set my limit here, and I'm just going to, in this case, mechanically target a 1 to 3 just because I'm not really seeing any clear targets for this one. So there we are, we're tagged in. Let's see if this wants to run. There we go. So the demand was respected very nicely. Price has now pushed back up. It broke structure again, so this is looking like a nice trade. If we zoom back out, what can we see? So what I'm actually thinking here is that if price continues to the upside, where is price likely going to gravitate towards? So my thought process here is that there's not really anything for price to react from in this current leg of the trend. So I'm thinking if it does continue to push up, we'll at least see it head back towards this previous high just up here. For now, though, I am just going to exit this at a 1 to 3 because I said, like we said, this was very much a counter trend position. I didn't want to really be targeting all the way up here when price could just reverse on us at any point. But yeah, good trade to start the session. Like I said, slightly lower probability counter trend trade, but I was happy to take that. The entry model I did skip over a little bit, but it was essentially, we had this change of character. Price created liquidity above an area of imbalanced demand, so I was just simply entering on that. After also price swept that daily liquidity to the left. That is the key point here. If price had not taken out this daily liquidity, I wouldn't have been looking for the buys whatsoever. And this is one of the ways where we can kind of know if a change of character is likely to give way to a bigger move or not, is the fact that it did sweep higher time frame lows to the left. But yeah, following on from that initial idea, I am now looking to just maybe continue buying up into this liquidity level. There's not really anything for price to react from until it gets to that level. You can kind of see we just had this like empty imbalance where you wouldn't really expect it to react from. So yeah, let's keep playing price to see how this develops, but I'm kind of now also looking out for potential areas where we could see price flip back bearish. So yeah, for now, let's have a look how this develops. We could maybe look to get back in on the buys. So yeah, maybe from here, price has now grabbed all of these previous lows. Again, not really reacting from anything. You'd at least expect it to head towards this liquidity. If we go to the lower time frames, you can see price wicked out these lows, also taken out the Asia lows, broke structure, pulled back, and then held this demand. I played price too quickly there. The entry should have actually been like on this area. Yeah, that's annoying. That would have been a nice trade as well, but played price slightly too quickly there. Actually, maybe if we can see a pullback into this sort of area, I'd be happy to jump in this trade based on the fact that we now have had like a 15-minute change of character as well. So as you guys can see, we were coming down with this bearish structure. Price broke 15-minute structure just here, and then created this imbalanced demand. So if we get a retest of that, I'm still happy to enter this trade, targeting the current trend high up here, 48123. So let's see if it can pull back. Yeah, there we go. So it didn't pull back for us, but the overall idea was good. Cool. So now we still have this clear bullish momentum coming in, looking to take this, as I said before, back up into these previous highs. So what I would actually look out for here is maybe if we can get a pullback into this hourly zone. It's quite an obvious zone, looks very clean. So let's see if price can pull back. Yeah, there we go. So as you guys can see now, we have had the pullback, but this looks very impulsive. It looks like a reversal, and you can kind of see as well, I didn't notice this before, but we have kind of come up and reacted from this supply zone. So yeah, I'm no longer really interested in trying to buy against this. You can see clear momentum coming in. So this would be sort of more, I would more so be looking for the sells now to continue the overall trend rather than trying to buy against this. And yeah, as you guys can see, we have now just broken the main trend structure, which was this one down here. And price looks to be overall just continuing over to the downside. The only thing that you could maybe see here is we have had a grab of that daily low and higher time frame low to the left. So this could equally be a regrab of these lows for continuations higher, maybe up into like this sort of imbalance. But yeah, overall, my sort of instinct is to just continue selling back down towards these previous lows. We have got quite a decent amount of bearish momentum coming in now, as you guys can see here. So maybe if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, you may see a pullback into this hourly supply. That would also be quite nice. If we skip over the Asian session, so we kind of came up, reacted from the supply. So I wouldn't really want to be buying here just because you have that conflict from the supply. And you have, price has also given us a valid change of character just here. And we've got this 5-minute bearish structure coming back into play. It created an area of imbalanced supply. So I'm just going to enter here actually with a more aggressive stop just above the supply zone. And I'm going to target these previous lows. So let's see if price can pull back for us. Ideally before, I was going to say, ideally before that liquidity level is swept. Otherwise, I'm going to cancel it. The reason I've cancelled this now is kind of because price kind of created a change of character here. And now it's pulled back, tapped into this extreme. So if it holds this area, I don't want to be entering here because it's very likely that price comes up and grabs the highs. I also don't really want to be buying from this zone though. So yeah, as you guys can see, it did end up holding the demand, came higher and grabbed the highs. The reason I was going to say, I didn't want to be buying from that area just because I am overall still bearish. And I don't really want to be trading counter trend when higher time frame is moving with this kind of structure. So yeah, what I'm thinking now, we have had sort of a sweep of that supply zone. If we mark that on, so this was the hourly supply. Price has now taken it out, tap back into the imbalance above. So this would be a good level to look to sell from. If it continues any higher than this, then you would expect it to maybe gravitate back towards this high. But yeah, for now, I'm going to look for some more selling opportunities here. At the moment, there's not really any 5-minute structure. So maybe if we see something like this where it regrabs the high and then continues down. So let's have a look how it develops from here. At the moment, it looks like it's more likely going to continue up. There we go. So it did start to sell off. And yeah, there we go. So we did get the sell move, but if you look on the 5-minute, the reason I wasn't entering because you haven't had a valid 5-minute change of character here. So it's not a valid trade according to my system at least. Again, kind of just consolidating here. There's not really too much of interest. So I'm just going to let this play out a little bit and see how it develops. Ideally, we want to see it break the low or break the high again. Yeah, there we go. So price created a new breaker structure. Overall, the analysis was very good there. Like we said, I was looking for a sweep of that supply for the continuations lower, but unfortunately, we didn't manage to get an entry on that one, which, sometimes happens, is you're not going to get an entry every single time. But what is interesting now is if we look to the left, price is very clearly closed with a lot of momentum below this daily low and higher time frame low to the left. So what I would be looking for now, I'm no longer interested in buys at all. I would be looking for shorting opportunities back down into these previous lows to the left. That's the next liquidity target that we have, and also the next area that price is likely to react from. As you guys can see, between where we are now and this low, there's not really anything for it to react from. So overall, just looking for continuations back down into those lows. I think I deleted the line, so I'm just going to mark this back on. And thoughts now, I'm just going to look for a retracement to continue selling down. Maybe we have like this sort of area. We could see price retest into there. There we go. So price has tapped into the supply zone. Let's see how it reacts from here. If it goes higher than this, then you know, maybe you could see it come into this area, or even come back up and sweep these highs that we have. Based on the fact though that it hasn't really come into an area to the left, and it hasn't swept any areas of liquidity, you wouldn't expect a big retracement here. You would kind of just expect a small move up and then continuations. I think the majority of people here as well are going to be viewing this as a change of character. I'm going to more so view this as like a sweep into the supply, and I'm going to continue looking for sells here. Yeah, so I'm not liking this at the moment. This is not a valid change of character for me because it was a single candle pullback. Okay, nice. So that was a valid change of character, as you guys can see. So what we wait for now is a pullback into the imbalance. So I'm going to enter from this area. If price can give us a pullback, that is. Stops just above that area, and I'm going to target the current trend low. I'm going to have actually a slightly smaller stop just so we can get a 1 to 3 on this. Okay, so that's annoying. Price slightly missed us and continued down without us. So yeah, there we go. So the current low was broken. I'm now going to cancel this limit. Once again, analysis very accurate, like we called this supply zone. Yeah, price broke the low again. Now we can look for other entry opportunities. Again, just looking to short the market down towards this line, which was that higher time frame liquidity. So yeah, let's have a look. Maybe if price can come up, re-grab these highs. Okay, let's have a look here. So price has kind of continued down. So here, maybe if we could see, so I'm looking within this range between the high and the low. And what I'm thinking is that we've kind of just like started to consolidate and build liquidity. So what I would look for here is kind of like a pop-up sweep of Asia high, maybe for price to come into this supply zone that I've just seen. That would be very nice because then you'd have all of this liquidity taken out. So let's see if we can get a bigger move up. Okay, so doesn't look like price wants to come all the way up there. I equally wouldn't want to be selling like all the way down here because it would be in a discount of the range, and obviously you don't want to be selling things at a discount. So yeah, kind of price is just continuing to sell off right now. It doesn't look like it's going to give us a pullback. Okay, cool. So this is a nice opportunity. So if we look back on the higher time frame, what we can see is we've stopped just before sweeping this higher time frame low, and we've got all of this bullish bearish momentum. If you guys just look at those bearish candles, very clear momentum. And yeah, we've kind of created these like relative equal lows with this higher time frame low. So what I'd be looking for here is more continuation opportunities. In particular, we have this supply zone on the 1 hour. We also have this one if price wants to come slightly higher. So yeah, let's see if one of these are respected or not. These would be some nice selling opportunities. There we go. So price swept that first one. You can see that clear wick out as well. Once you see this, normally price will gravitate towards opposing liquidity. Yeah, so I don't like how that's moving actually. So I think you're going to at least see a sweep of that high again. There we go. So price came into that more premium level. Grab some previous highs into it. So this is why I'm going to look for the shorts in line with that bearish bias. Right, there we go. So this looks nice. You can see price went slightly higher than the supply zone. One thing I always tell the guys in VIP is if the supply zone on the higher time frame is swept, like it was in this case, it becomes a higher probability trade, meaning that the trade is more likely to play out in your favor. So I'm going to set a limit here. We have all of our confluences, and I'm going to target this opposing liquidity down here for around a 1 to 4. Nice risk to reward on this one. Let's see if it can pull back and tag us in. There we go. So we are now tagged into the trade. Extra confluences, we had like a little bit of liquidity below this area. Let's see if price can continue selling off from here. Okay, nope. So that was a stop loss on that one. Valid trade though, so nothing to really worry about with that. One thing we could maybe see now is, I didn't notice this in time, but if we look back, we kind of did have price grab this higher time frame low. I don't know why I didn't mark that on before, but we had sweep of this low, and then we've got this clear push up away from the area. So what we could maybe see now is price gravitate back towards this sort of supply zone we have up here to take out some more of these previous highs. If we see some buying opportunities up into that area, I'm happy to take them. As you guys can see at the moment, we have quite clear bullish momentum coming in. So, one other thing as well is we did have price fell the supply zone. And yeah, as you guys can see, clear momentum coming into the market. I think it's very likely now you maybe see it gravitate back towards this area. We have also just swept this 4-hour liquidity level. Could maybe see some sells from here if we just pay attention to how it reacts. Yeah, so I missed that, but the entry should have been here. Actually, if we get a retest of this area, I'm actually going to jump in and target just down here at this demand. Nice, there we go. So that was a quick trade. The actual entry should have been this initial wick up, but like I mentioned, I missed that. Thoughts behind that trade were we came up, swept that 4-hour high and that 4-hour supply zone. Again, when you see a sweep of the higher time frame supply and demand zones, the trade becomes higher probability. And then on the 5-minute, in this case also on the 15-minute, price broke structure to the downside, pulled back, held supply, and then was likely to head towards the opposing liquidity, which was this wick down here. So yeah, let's see how this develops, because this could easily be the move back down towards these lows. I'm not really interested in buying anymore unless price can respect this demand zone it just traded into. So yeah, let's see how it reacts here. If it does start to flip back bullish from here, I am going to consider the buys instead. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's respecting it at the moment. Okay, there we go. We do have clear momentum coming back in after the previous day Asia low was taken out, as you guys can see. Yeah, so we could maybe see a move back up into these highs. Obviously this is counter trend as well, so slightly lower probability, but based on how this is moving, I think that could be likely. Again, as well, the only reason I'm considering buys here is because we did sweep that higher time frame liquidity. Yeah, okay, so yeah, no longer interested in the buys actually. Now I would just be looking for shorts back into these lows. If we can get maybe a pullback. Okay, nice. So didn't get a pullback, but that analysis was good. We've now had another break of this main structure, but look at where price has come into. We have now swept that weekly low. So what I'm thinking here now, we've had multiple weekly and higher time frame lows taken out of the market. I'm expecting at least some sort of pullback from here now that those higher time frame lows have been taken out. One area that I would maybe be cautious of, we have this area of supply. So if we see a pullback into there, we could also look for some shorts. But for the time being, I'm actually going to monitor for the buys based on the fact that that weekly low was taken out. I want to at least see a 15-minute change of character here though. Yeah, so there we go. Price started to break structure to the upside. Let's see if we can get a pullback. Okay, nice. So the area that I would actually enter from would be this demand. So if we set a limit there, target this previous high. Thoughts behind this trade, we've had a sweep of that weekly low. We've then had our change of character on the M5 and M15 charts. So yeah, let's see if price can pull back. Okay, cool. So lost on that one. I think price may want to re-grab these lows. Yeah, there we go. So we had a re-grab of the low. Let's see if it can start to break to the upside from here. Ideally, you want to see it break this structure. Yeah, there we go. So this is nice. We've had that 15-minute change of character. After price came back down, re-grabbed the lows. So in terms of areas to enter from now, you have like this sort of whole area down here. That's quite a big zone, so let's just see if the risk to reward makes sense. So if we were entering here with stops below that low, we could probably target this supply zone. And yeah, the risk to reward is fine, so I'm going to set this limit. For anyone new, my minimum risk to reward is a 1 to 3, which in this case we can get. Okay, actually, so I'm going to enter here slightly higher. So what I've now seen is price has kind of continued to the upside, created an area of liquidity above this area of demand. So this would be my entry area. And I'm going to, again, target that supply zone. There we go, nice push so far. We were slightly late to this again. Ideally, I would have just set a limit on this demand zone, but I played it slightly too quickly. But yeah, let's see if this can continue. Looks nice at the moment. There we go. Can we get that final push? Could maybe look for a second entry opportunity from this demand that price has pulled back into. You have now kind of created a new breaker structure as well. This is the Asian session though, so I'm going to fast forward this. But yeah, this would be a nice area to look out for the buys from. I like the fact as well you've kind of grabbed Asia low. So let's see if we can get a change of character here. There we go. So we've had the change of character. Price created an area of demand. We just mark that on. So I'm going to enter here. Stops just below that low. Actually, I'm going to have, because this is quite a riskier trade because it was based on just this like sort of nearer demand zone. We haven't really had much liquidity taken out. I'm going to enter here and we can still get a 1 to 3, so I'm going to enter this. Damn, that's annoying. So if you see there, price came very, very close to tagging us in, like maybe 1 or 2 pips away, slightly missed us, and then continued over to the upside. I cancelled the limit because it has now taken out that current trend high, meaning that our entry becomes like the sort of internal liquidity for price to take out. And yeah, there we go. So price did end up hitting TP on that first trade. We have now traded into this higher time frame supply, so we could maybe see some shorts coming back into the market. But my overall idea now is just to continue buying, mainly because we have swept that weekly low. This looks like a reversal because price hasn't really got any liquidity to take in this range. I'm going to keep this supply marked on because you could still see a reaction from there. But yeah, mainly now I'm just looking to follow this bullish structure. I'm going to monitor this supply closely just to see if we do get any selling opportunities from here. But yeah, mainly focused on the buys now. Yeah, there we go. So perfect reaction from that supply zone, as you guys can see. What we could maybe see though, it did react from that supply, but the hourly has already flipped bullish. So maybe we could see, you know, prices kind of come back down, grab these lows, tap back into this demand zone we were originally buying from. So if it can flip bullish here, I think it's likely to fill in this imbalance, only if it breaks above this structure though. So that's just, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to enter this on this area. Reason for this, we've swept that liquidity to the left, tapped back into the demand, and price has flipped back bullish on the lower time frames. We've created an area of imbalanced demand, so I'm going to enter here. Ideally, you'd want the stop just below the low. So if we target the current high with our stop below the low, it's only a 1 to 2. So what I'm actually going to do is just drag the entry slightly lower, and we'll see if price can tag us in. There we are. So we did get tagged in anyway. And now let's see if we can get a rally back up into this high. Oh, there we go. So perfect trade there. Pretty sniper entry as well, entering on sort of the 50% of that demand zone. And yeah, clear momentum coming back into the market now. So again, still looking for buying positions. Next POI would be this M15 demand we have. Or you could also see a retest of this hourly zone. So these are the sort of two zones I would look at. But as for your targets, I am now looking to take price back up towards this high. That's the next opposing liquidity. You can see as well very clearly, price broke past the supply. This looks like a reversal. It's more likely to gravitate towards this high than to continue selling. So yeah, looking for continuations up into that area. Let's see if we get a pullback. Cool, there we go. So Sunday open gapped down into the demand. Let's see if price can start to break some structure here. Gonna fast forward Asia session. Next structure for it to break is this high at the moment. Right, okay, so it looks like it's coming down towards that hourly zone instead. There we go, so price has tapped down into it. I'm liking the look of this though, so we've now tapped into the extreme. Asia low has been swept. We've kind of had this sort of bearish move down in London session. And when you normally see an extended move like this in an overall bullish market, it's kind of like enticing sellers in. So people are going to be now trying to sell after a retracement into this range. But because we're aware of the overall context and higher time frame direction, we instead can look for the buys from here. So if we go down to the 5 minute, at the moment I'd want to see a break above this structure. There we are, so we did get that. As you can see, clear momentum as well. So what I would do now is just wait for a pullback into the imbalance, set stops just below the low, and for this one, I ideally want to target Asia high, so I'm just going to set the entry slightly lower for a 1 to 3. And cool, so this looks like a good trade. Let's set the limit. There we go, so price pulled back for us. Let's see if we can run up into those highs. Actually, we could have got a better entry there. You can see price pulled back and held this extreme. But yeah, this is looking good. Cool, there we go. Another TP hit on that one. Very clean trade. Again, following the same set of rules, same strategy every single time. Higher time frame structure, area of demand, lower time frame confirmation, and that's literally all there is to it. Yeah, so what I'm looking for now is for price to gravitate back up towards these highs. The next point of interest I would look for price to pull back into would maybe be this demand zone. That would be nice. So I'm going to fast forward Asia session again. And yeah, extra confluence now as well is London Open has swept the Asia low into that demand zone, as you guys can see. So this would be a good place to look for the buys. There we go, so you guys can see that. We had price come down, re-grabbed these lows after the initial push away from the demand, clear breaker structure to the upside. So I'm gonna enter from here. If we can put stops below the low and target these highs, we can still get a 1 to 3, so this looks good. I'm gonna set the limit here. There we go, we're tagged in. Nice, there we go. So I was monitoring there for a potential reaction after Asia high went, but we didn't get one. Price just ran straight up into the TP. But yeah, overall, at the moment, very clear structure, very clear order flow and directional narrative here. So still looking to continue buying price back up into that high. This is the current 4-hour lower high though. So if it is taken out, we may see price start to pull back, which, you know, we could look to capitalize on maybe. So if we look on the daily time frame, this is still a bearish trend. It still looks very much bearish, and then this is like, you could maybe say that this is just a pullback for lower prices. So one of the potential scenarios here I would look at would be if price can actually run these highs and then continue to the downside. So I'm actually going to look out for that, but for the time being, we will look for longs back up into these highs. So if I just mark that on as a potential area where we could see price come into. Yeah, so there we go. This is nice. We're getting a pullback before a sweep of that high, so we can look to buy up into it. The next buying area that we'll look for would be, so I have two at the moment. We have this area of demand that price has just tapped into, or we have this sort of imbalance just below where we could also see price come into. But yeah, for now, this would be the sort of area that I would look at. So price induced it, didn't quite tap into it. Actually, yeah, it was kind of this hourly zone, which price did tap into. My bad, I missed that. But yeah, let's have a look. I'm going to get rid of some of this now because this is the internal structure, not the main trend structure. But yeah, you guys can see now we have swept that main 4-hour liquidity level, so we could start to see a pullback from here. And I am going to look out for some sells here if price can start to break structure. Yeah, so we've grabbed that high to the left. Also tapped into the supply zone. We re-grabbed the highs. There's quite a lot of liquidity here below as well. On the M15 and M5 time frame, price has flipped bearish, as you guys can see here. We came up, ran these highs, and flipped bearish. So in terms of like entry areas, this actually looks quite nice. So we have an area of supply just above all of these previous highs. So this is a valid opportunity for me actually, so I'm going to set a limit here. Again, this would be a slightly lower probability counter trend trade, but based on those confluences, I am willing to take this. And I'm going to target these lows down here. So let's see if this tags us in. Oh, damn, that's annoying. So price missed us slightly, and then like instantly hit TP basically. Once again though, analysis very accurate on that, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, I am now looking for more selling opportunities. It looks like price has kind of grabbed this high and then is continuing lower. Obviously as well, you could view this as a change of character for a pullback, for continuations to the upside, but that's just something to keep in mind as well. So if you are going to see this as a change of character for more bullish opportunities, you could at least see price, come back down and take out some of these previous lows first. So you kind of have this demand zone maybe for price to react from, or you also have this higher time frame low, and then if it doesn't respect there, you also have this one slightly lower as well. So those would be the areas I would monitor for if I was still bullish and looking for more buying opportunities. Again, at the moment, the perspective you can take is kind of twofold. So you could view this as a sweep for sells or a change of character for more buys. But let's keep an eye out at the moment. At the moment, price is moving with a lot of bearish momentum. So until it flips back bullish, we don't want to be buying. Yeah, so this looks quite weak at the moment. Hasn't really reversed or broken any structure. So maybe we could look for some more selling opportunities from maybe the supply. Yeah, so this looks nice actually. So London session pushed up, swept the Asia high. We haven't yet swept the liquidity level to the left. So I'm actually going to look for some selling opportunities here. It also tapped into that supply zone. So if we can get price break this structure, I'm going to look for the sells. There we go. So price broke structure, flipped back bearish on the M5. So we didn't create any imbalance though, so this isn't valid at the moment. Yeah, so actually it looks like sells are over, prices continuing to the upside. The only thing I'm thinking now is maybe you could see like a grab of these highs and then the sells coming in. All right, okay, so no, price just swept the supply zone, I think. Yeah, and then continued over down. There wasn't a valid entry there though, so That's completely fine. Yeah, so now what I'm thinking, price has grabbed this low. It has also tapped back into this hourly demand that it was in before. So maybe we see the bullish continuations from here, because it has also given the change of character and pulled back into a discount, as you guys can see, swept those 4-hour lows. So if we get rid of some of this just to clear it up, if we can get a valid 15-minute change of character from here, I'm happy to buy. So at the moment, I need to at least see it break this high, which it looks like it's going to do. There we go. So M15 breaker structure in London session. So now we look for a pullback into a demand. In this case, we have this demand down here, which created the imbalance. So I'm going to enter here with stops just below. And for this trade, I'm actually going to target up here at these previous highs, because I think if price breaks higher than this, there's not really anything stopping it from going up all the way to these highs. So that's why I'm comfortable targeting those highs. Let's see if it can pull back for us. Which it looks like it might. There we go. So we're now tagged in. We've also had now the added confluence of Asia lows being taken in London session. It also swept this inducement into the demand. There we go. So we have now another breaker structure. This looks good. And if we zoom back out as well, now we have like nothing really stopping the trade from running all the way up to this level. If you look to the left, there's not really anything for price to react from. So yeah, I'm happy to let this run. Let's see how it plays out. Risk to reward on this is a 1 to 5.6, so pretty decent. Go. So price is still running. We've had another breaker structure here. Price just came back, grabbed the entry demand we were entering from, which is why I had my stop loss there, just to protect us in the case of that scenario. I don't really like how this pullback looks at the moment. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to keep holding this. Let's see what happens. Nice, there we go. So I think that was the best trade of the session so far. We hit 5.6R on that trade. And yeah, just very clean trade overall. And very clearly now, price wants to continue to the upside. We've had a very clear breaker structure just here. Price looks to be trading towards this next supply zone. So if it comes into this area, we could maybe look for a counter trend opportunity. But as of right now, it looks very bullish to continue back up to some more premium levels. So I'm going to look for a pullback here to get back in on the buys. I'm not seeing much at the moment. Maybe if price can come all the way back down here into the demand, that would be nice. Because you've kind of created this big imbalance. Don't really want to be buying above that. And yeah, there we go. So price has pulled back, tapped into the demand. Let's see if we can get an entry here. Okay, let's have a look on the, so what I'm seeing here is we've kind of swept this demand, and then on the M5, if we look back, price broke the structure, it pulled back, held this demand, and has started to push away. So what I'm actually going to do here, I'm going to enter market execution, have stops just below those lows, and I'm not that confident on this one, so I'm just going to mechanically target a 1 to 3. There we go. Let's see how this runs. Slightly lower probability because the change of character wasn't very clear, but let's have a look. I might monitor price if it sweeps this high. Yeah, there we go. So like I said, price swept the high, came back, stopped us out. Okay, the next area we could look at, maybe if we zoom back out, maybe one of these daily lows down here. Okay, so it came back down. 4-hour low has been taken out in a discount. So yeah, maybe we could see some buys from here. I like the fact as well that price induced this area of demand, this area of supply, and didn't quite tap into it. Yeah, you can see here as well, we grabbed that low. I missed this entry, but we flipped that bullish on the M15. There was probably an M5 demand here, so price pushed up, respected the demand, broke structure again. So actually, if we can get, if we can get a retest of this demand, which price has just done, I'm going to enter this trade, stop slightly below the low, and I'm going to target that previous high to the left. I think we might have missed the entry. I entered too late. Oh, that's annoying. I think our entry was the inducement. So you can see there, price created this inducement and then tapped back into this demand. I should have zoomed out and seen that, but oh well, the overall bias was correct, I think. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't see that, but that was very clear. As you guys can see, we created this inducement above the demand. Price rallied from there after sweeping that 4-hour low as well. So yeah, thoughts now, I'm just looking for continuations up towards these highs. You also have this high as well, you could see maybe a reaction from. Okay, not seeing much yet. Okay, maybe if we see a retest of this demand, which price has just done. I'm liking this because you've had price pulled back, grabbed these lows, swept Asia low, held the demand. On the 5-minute, we are starting to see, there we go. So we've had our change of character. So if we can get a pullback here into the demand, I'm happy to enter. And I'm going to target this current trend high to the left. Let's see if it can pull back for us. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't look like it's pulling back for us. I wouldn't want to enter all the way down there now, even if it does pull back into that area. And yeah, there we go. So good analysis again. Didn't get a pullback, unfortunately. But yeah, guys, I think this backtesting session is long enough for today, so I'm going to save the next part for next week. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these backtesting videos. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you will have a good rest of the day or evening, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.